So, Agentic AI. A year ago, it was supposed to be this huge, revolutionary thing. But now that it's been out in the wild for a while, the results are, well, they're a bit of a mixed bag. So what have we actually learned? We're going to break down 6 really hard-won lessons from the people on the front lines, digging into what's really working, and maybe more importantly, what's definitely not.
I mean, the promise was, and let's be honest, it still is, absolutely massive. We're talking about a kind of transformation that could unlock just incredible levels of productivity, the kind of efficiency that doesn't just tweak a business, but totally reshapes entire industries. That was the dream, right?
But the reality? Yeah, it's been a lot more complicated. Companies are pouring tons of money into these projects, and they're just not seeing the value. It gets crazier. Some have hit so many roadblocks, they've actually started rehiring for the exact roles they thought these agents could handle. So what on earth is going on here?
Okay, first, let's just make sure we're all on the same page. When we say agentic AI, we are not just talking about a fancy chatbot. This is a system that can actually do things. It uses generative AI to understand a goal, and then it goes and executes a bunch of steps to get it done. It automates really complex work that, up until now, absolutely needed a person in the loop.
And you should know, these insights we're about to share, they're not just theories. They come from digging into over 50 real-world AI projects. This is what people on the ground have learned. And believe me, a lot of it was learned the hard way.
All right, lesson number 1. And honestly, this is the most critical one of all. The successful projects, they're not about just building a cool new agent. They're about taking a step back and fundamentally rethinking the entire business workflow from the ground up. You know, the companies that are winning all follow a really similar playbook. First, they map out exactly how work gets done today, and they pinpoint the real frustrations. Only then do they redesign the flow using a smart mix of different technologies. And this is the key. The agent itself isn't the star of the show.
So if the agent isn't the star, what is it? Well, its true role is to be the orchestrator. It's the glue that connects all these different systems and processes together. It pulls things from here, sends them over there, and just keeps the whole redesigned workflow moving. So the big takeaway? Agents unify. They don't just replace.
Okay, our next 2 lessons are super tightly connected. You can't really have one without the other. And it all comes down to making smart choices. First, you've got to pick the right tool for the job. And second, you have to make sure your teams actually trust and want to use the thing you just built.
And this is the question that trips up so many teams. In this huge rush to adopt the latest shiny new thing, they forget to stop and ask, wait a minute, is an AI agent actually the best solution for this problem? And you'd be surprised how often the answer is a simple nope.
So here's a simple but really powerful cheat sheet. Look, if a task is super repetitive and follows clear rules, good old-fashioned automation is probably cheaper and more reliable. If you're just, say, pulling info from documents, basic Gen AI is perfect for that. You only really need to bring in the heavy machinery, the agents, when the task involves a bunch of different, unpredictable steps.
Here is such a great way to think about this. Bringing an agent online is way more like hiring a new employee than it is like deploying software. Because if you just turn it on and walk away, you get what users are now calling AI slop, just low-quality, frustrating results. You've got to treat it like a new hire, give it a clear job, train it, and give it constant feedback so it can actually get better.
So how do you give that feedback and build that crucial trust? With some serious evaluation. You have to track real concrete metrics. You know, what's its actual success rate? How often is it making stuff up? Is it pulling the right information? This isn't just a nice to have. It's the only way you're going to guarantee quality and get your team to actually use it. Okay, so you've redesigned your workflow. You're building trust with your team. Now for the next 2 lessons, which are all about how to scale this stuff successfully. And that means 2 things: tracking every single thing that happens under the hood and building your systems smartly so you can reuse them. Look, when you're running thousands of these agent processes a day, mistakes are going to happen. It's inevitable. But if you're only checking the final result, you'll have no idea where things went wrong. The key is building in what they call observability from day one. You have to verify what's happening at every single step of the process so you can catch those mistakes early. Now this is a massive game changer for speed. Instead of building a whole new agent from scratch for every little task, the smartest companies are identifying jobs that come up over and over again, like, say, pulling data from a specific source, and they build reusable agent components that can just be plugged into different workflows. And the impact of this is huge. Having a central library of these reusable components can literally eliminate 30 to 50% of redundant development work. That is how you scale fast without everything falling apart.
All right, our final lesson. And honestly, this might just be the most important one of all. Because for all this talk about automation, real success still comes down entirely to the human factor.
This really shows the new partnership in action. You let the agents do what they're absolutely brilliant at. Grabbing tons of data, analyzing it, and suggesting what to do next. But that just frees up humans for what we do best, applying that final judgment, handling weird edge cases, and ultimately taking responsibility for the final decision.
But look, this partnership only works if it's designed well. There was this one insurance company, for example, that built a super simple interface. Reviewers could click on an AI insight and instantly see the exact source text highlighted in the original document. That one simple feature built incredible confidence and led to a 95% user acceptance rate. It's all about the experience.
So in the end, this whole agentic revolution, it isn't really about the technology itself. It's about a fundamental redesign of how we work. It's about collaboration, not replacement. And that really leaves just one big question for all of us. Is your organization truly ready to reimagine the work?